What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Jorge's House of Horrors. And today we're heading beneath the streets of Paris into one of the most macabre and mysterious underground labyrinths in the world. This isn't your average haunted house or cursed cave. We're talking 6 million human skeletons, skulls stacked like bricks, femurs forming archways, a world of bones and whispers in a tunnel system so vast parts of it haven't been mapped to this day. This is the story of the Paris Catacombs, the official ossuary of the dead and the unofficial domain of something else. Let's set the stage. It's the late 18th century and Paris has a problem. Cemeteries are overflowing. One in particular, the Cemetery of the Innocents, is literally spilling bodies into basements and streets. The stench is overwhelming. Disease is spreading. Something has to give. So, city officials come up with a grim but brilliant solution. Take the remains of the dead and move them underground into the city's network of abandoned limestone quarries. The transfers began in 1786. By night, priests led processions of black-covered carts filled with bones. They prayed over the dead as they dumped them beneath the city in massive piles. And they didn't stop. For decades, bones were relocated from all over Paris until eventually over 6 million Parisians were interred in what became known as the Catacombs. But what started as a solution became something else entirely. The bones became art. In the early 1800s, the catacombs were reorganized not just for storage but for display. Skulls were stacked with geometric precision, crosses made from femurs lined with the walls. Cryptic plaques were added, quoting scripture and poetry about death. Suddenly, this wasn't just an ossuary. It was a monument to mortality. And for some, it was a magnet. Writers, philosophers, artists, occultists, all were drawn to the catacombs. Napoleon's men explored it. Victor Hugo was inspired by it. The Parisians' elite even held dinner parties and concerts inside, but not everyone came back up. There were hauntings and disappearances. Over the years, the catacombs developed a reputation, not just for being creepy, but for being cursed. Visitors reported hearing whispers, even when they were alone. Some claimed to see shadowy figures moving through the tunnels. Others felt an overwhelming sensation of being watched. And then there are the disappearances. In 1990, an exploration team found a video camera deep within the tunnels. Its battery dead. Its footage recovered later. The tape shows a man wandering alone, increasingly panicked, breathing heavily, running, and then dropping the camera. He was never found. In 2017, 2 teenage boys were rescued after being lost for 3 days underground. Disoriented and dehydrated, they couldn't explain how they got so deep or how they got so turned around. Even experienced explorers, known as cataphiles, have spoken of strange voices, temperature drops, and moments of sheer terror when it feels like the tunnels are watching you. Now, of course, this comes with urban legends. The catacombs are ground zero for Parisian urban legends. The secret cult rooms. In 2004, people found a fully equipped cinema, bar, and seating area built illegally inside the catacombs. Next to it, a note: "Don't try to find us." Creepy. There was also the Room of Mirrors, an area said to trap the soul of anyone who looks into its cracked surfaces. There was also the Gate to Hell, a tunnel so deep and narrow that legend says if you enter it on the right night, you'll never come back. Many of these stories are unverifiable, but when you're 100 feet below ground surrounded by the bones of millions, logic takes a backseat, as it always does. Now, is this paranormal or psychological in these cases? So, is the catacombs' darkness supernatural or just psychological? Skeptics argue the maze-like structure, stale air, and total blackness can create hallucinations, paranoia, and a breakdown of spatial awareness. They say the so-called ghosts are the result of suggestibility, centuries of lore, and the sheer weight of knowing you're surrounded by death. But are there believers? They point to the consistency of the sightings, the electronic interference on cameras, and the powerful emotional pull the catacombs seem to have over anyone who ventures in too far. You can still visit it, sort of, but today, about a mile of the catacombs is open to the public, tourist-friendly, monitored, and relatively tame. But beyond the velvet ropes lies over 200 miles of forbidden tunnel. It's illegal to enter without permission, but has that stopped anybody? Nah, it has not stopped the cataphiles, the urban explorers who map it by hand, hide stashes of supplies, and go deeper than anyone should. Ask them why they risk it, and you'll get 100 different answers, but one thing is always the same. No one leaves the catacombs unaffected. So, what do you believe? Are the Paris catacombs just a massive underground graveyard, or something far more haunted? Something watching, waiting, remembering? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you've ever been below Paris, officially or otherwise, I want to hear your stories. Please, let me know. If this episode chilled your bones, smash that like button, and skeleton key that subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the next descent into darkness. I'm Jorge, and this is Jorge's House of Horrors.